Along the coast of Cornwall, there is a legend about the solstice ebb. Once every 50 years, on a single night in autumn, the tide recedes further than any man has ever seen. It reveals a part of the seabed that the sun has never touched, a place that does not belong to our world. Last year, a marine biologist named Alistair stayed in a remote cottage to witness it. He watched from the cliffs as the ocean pulled back further and further, revealing a vast, dark plain of wet sand under the moonlight. He grabbed a powerful flashlight and descended to the shore. He walked for nearly a mile out onto the alien landscape of the exposed ocean floor. That's when he saw them. Stretching in a perfectly straight line into the dark abyss were hundreds of old-fashioned Victorian-era streetlights half buried in the sand. They were impossibly preserved, their glass domes intact, and as he got closer, he realized they were glowing. A faint, cold blue light emanated from each one, casting long, eerie shadows on the seabed. There was no power source. He heard a sound on the wind, not the sea. It was the distant, muffled sound of traffic, of slow, melancholic music, of a bustling city that wasn't there. He felt a deep, primal fear, a feeling of trespassing. Suddenly, he heard a roar. The tide was returning. Fast, he sprinted back towards the cliffs, not daring to look back. He scrambled onto the rocks just as the first waves crashed onto the shore. He turned his flashlight back to the seabed one last time. Just before the ocean swallowed the nearest streetlight, he saw them. Beneath its cold blue glow, two tall, slender figures in long coats and hats appeared, standing motionless as if waiting to cross a street that had been drowned for centuries. They looked up, their featureless faces turning towards him just before the waves reclaimed them. The next morning, the tide was normal, but the rocks where Alistair had stood were now covered in a thin layer of moss he'd never seen before. A moss that, even in the bright morning sun, glowed with a faint, cold blue light. Some places aren't meant to be discovered. They're just waiting in the dark and the deep. And when the tide is low, they remind us that the world is much, much older and stranger than we think.